Okay, happy April 7th today. We're going to be doing student handout 2, and it's just a quick review of fractions and percents. So the instructions talk about practice making two equivalent fractions for each of these below, but one of the equivalent fractions I want you to do is I want you to make it into 100%. So let's zoom in on that, or make the denominator 100. So if we're going to do some equivalent fractions there, let's just reduce this. Let's divide both by 3, and then we get this is obviously 2/3. Now to make this also equivalent to 100, remember we have to multiply 9 times something to get us 100. Well, obviously, it's not going to be it's not going to be a number without decimals, right, or fractions. So 100 divided by 9 will be 11.11, and that just repeats. So 6 times 11.11 will get us 66. I'm just going to round that to 66, and that means that this is 66%. So kind of some key benchmarks to know. 2/3 is always going to be 66%. That's a good one to memorize. If you remember my poster in my room, that one was on there. Okay, let's move on. Okay, the next one we have is 8/10. Well, an equivalent fraction to that is, let's divide everything, I don't know, by 2, right? 10 divided by 2 is 5, 8 divided, so that's a 4/5. But now let's make that over 100, and 10 times 10 gets me 100. So 8 times 10 gets me 80. So I know 4/5 or 8/10 is 80%. That's still not that bad. Now the next one's pretty interesting, so let's clear the drawings. 5/4. Notice, if you will, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. To draw that, so let me do that again. Clear drawings. Oops, when I had it on pause, but let me re-record that. Okay, so remember that this is 5/4. Of course, what does that mean? That means that this fraction, the numerator, is larger than the denominator, so I can make it into a mixed number, which is 1/1/4. But more interestingly, let's see what happens if we're going to make this into, and I'm going to move this over for you guys, if we're going to make this into a percent, right? 4 times what will get us to 100? And I realize that 100 is really kind of not well made, but of course we know 4 times 25 will make us into 100, will get us the 100. So what we do on the bottom, we do on top. 5 times 25, well, if you know your math really well, you know that's 125. So this is 125%. Notice that's bigger than 100, and that's also very possible. You could absolutely have numbers bigger than 100%. That just means it's 100 plus 25% more. So that just means you ate 100% of the pizza plus 25% of another pizza, right? So that's what it is. So you ate your whole plus more. Okay, let's go on. Okay, so let's see what goes in here. A fraction, that's what we're looking for here, can be written as a percent when the denominator is, and we all know this, 100. If the denominator is a friendly number, which means it goes in evenly, you can scale up or down using a proportion. And you don't even need it to be exactly right, because of course you saw that we did it with 9 here, and we're able to scale up and down. So let's convert each fraction with the denominator 0. And I'm just going to set it up, and you are actually going to do it for homework. Not bad. Oops, that's not my denominator 0. Let's do that again. Okay, my denominator is 0. Let's do this one really quickly. 4 times 25, 3 times 25. What you do on the bottom, we do on the top. 4 times 25 gets me 100, and that is 75. And so we know it's 75%. Okay, you're pretty good with doing, I want you to do the graphs below. I also want you to, let's look at some strip diagrams and number lines. So I'll put you on pause to show you that. Okay, so you can see these are some really popular fractions. Again, our denominator has to be 100. So divide the number strip into the same sections, or 100, and you're going to shade the parts that our numerator is. So if your whole is 8, you're going to divide this into 8 sections, and then 1 out of the 8 is about 12.5 sections there. Or you could just do it as a proportion. And again, what times 8 will get you to 100? Well, it's not an even number, so we know that. So I'm just going to take 100 and use my wonderful calculator, and 100 divided by 8 I know is 12.5. So it's 12.5%. So that's an easier way to do it than fraction strips, so I'm not going to have you do the fraction strips. Same with 1/3 and same with 2/5. It's just an easier way to do it, and we know all about this because we've learned about proportions. Okay, so today you're going to continue on. You're going to do this wonderful student handout, and I also want you to do homework 1, or homework 2, sorry, let me take a picture of that. Okay, this is your homework also. Finish the handout 2 and homework 2. Sure, you could draw a little representation here. I'm going to give you a hint. This is 3, this is 8 right here. So you would cut this into, so you could have 1, 2, 3 sections, and this one you'd cut so you could have 8 sections. That's not really 8, but close enough. And tell me what percent they are. So don't forget to answer that. And that's the homework for today. Make sure you show your work, make sure you take a picture, and make sure you upload it. I'll post the answers tomorrow for both homework 1 and homework 2. So you could have them, and I can have everybody have a chance to finish it. And I will post the answers to the test tomorrow too. So you'll have a lot to look at tomorrow. And tomorrow's our last day before spring break, so enjoy. All right, hope everyone's well. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys.